I'll put it on record.
All right, thank you. And then I would like a copy of that or so.
Yeah, I just have to figure out how to do that. I'm sure that would be easy. I'll just send you the link to the thing.
All right, perfect.
So
So, so how you doing?
I'm fine. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So Knives Out. So as I told you before, Knives Out made my list of the best films of 2019.
What did you like about it? Were you already a fan of our directors?
Well, yeah, I even met the director at the Chicago Film Festival or when it premiered.
Oh, great. You were at the premiere. That was
Yes,
exciting.
well, yes, it was.
Yeah.
So what was it like working with him on that movie?
Oh, it was just the best. He's really, as you know, you've met him. He's really a lovely person, and he knew exactly what he wanted. And the movie came together. You probably know if you followed the movie, it came together very quickly.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
good.
everybody, I think from the time Daniel Craig said yes until we shot, it was like a month. I mean, it was just really a quick thing.
Really?
And we shot up outside Boston, and in that beautiful mansion, which was not even the biggest mansion on the property, that was like one of the mansions. So it was pretty exciting.
I'm glad it was.
Yeah,
All those famous people. I mean, like I also met Michael Shannon and Jaden Liebrier,
yeah,
and now I'm meeting you. So this is incredible.
yeah, yeah. Jaden's really grown up.
Hmm.
Did you see him in his movie that he did with Chris, the one on Netflix? I can't remember the name of it, but he had it was a series, I think, a series of maybe 6 or 8 episodes. It was really good.
I didn't see that one, but thanks for letting me know. I'll look more into it.
When we finish, if I can remember, I'll look it up and then send you the particulars on it.
All right,
Oh, I
perfect.
think it was it. That's the name of it, Defending Jacob.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, yeah, it was really good, and Jaden was wonderful, and Chris, it was a total departure for Chris for what he usually does.
Oh yes, and you were also you were also Martha Kent on Lois and Clark.
Yes,
So
I was Superman's mom for a little while.
so what was that experience like for you? Like playing like the mother of an iconic superhero.
Well, it was pretty fun. The audition was interesting actually because, we have all these ideas in our head about what Martha Kent is like, from the comics and how she should dress and what she should look like. So the in the script, you first see her. It didn't end up being the first shot in the pilot because we ran out of money and we never got to really shoot this one. But I trained for it. The first scene is her welding. She's welding. And so I thought, well, I don't think she would be in this little flowered shirt and all the things that we see, when you see the comics. And so I went in and I wore a sweatsuit. I don't know, bright red t-shirt, I think, with some gray pants, and everybody else in the audition room was like in little flowered shirts and all that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I really screwed this up. But then it turned out that Deborah Joy, who was the executive producer, was like, yeah, that was just the kind of Superman's mom they wanted. So I wasn't really playing the Superman's mom in the way it was in the comic books, but she hadn't written it that way either.
Hmm. Yes, so we're all doing what we can during this quarantine, and you live in LA. So what's that? How's that going for you at this point?
Well, it's not that different from regular life because I live by myself and I, just go about my life doing whatever. The thing that's really different is that this time of year is Oscar screening time, for the films. First of all, we don't have all the films we might have had, but secondly, there used to be all these events to go to, to see the films. And of course, now they can't do that. But I've been to 2 screenings so far at the Rose Bowl, which is kind of fun at a drive-in.
Really?
So that's been really interesting and fun. But other than that, I mean, for the first 3 or 4 weeks, I didn't go out at all. I didn't go to the grocery store or whatever. As soon as things closed down, my younger daughter who lives nearby said, no, I'll bring you your groceries. And then friends and Christy were bringing me the groceries. And so then I was talking to my older daughter, Kelly, about a month into it, 3, 4 weeks into it. And I said, it just feels so not normal. It just feels so not normal. And she said, well, you could go to the grocery store. And I'm like, that's right, I could. So the next day I went to the grocery store and I've been happy ever since. I can go to the store. I don't have to think about it and tell somebody and have somebody go get it. I can go and choose what I want. So, I wear my mask. I socially distance. I'm very careful. I take it very seriously. And I think people who don't wear masks are just, well, I don't have anything good to say about it. They obviously don't get the concept of for the greater good and we're all in this together, but we are. But anyway, so, I think most of us, it's running in the background, the fact that this pandemic is here. We don't know really that much about it. Are we going to get it? Are we not? If we do, will we get really sick? Will we die? Whatever. And I think that's a certain amount of anxiety on everybody, but it's below the level, I think, of consciousness. And so I think we're probably all a little bit more tightly wound than we would be. But otherwise, my kids live nearby and we're in each other's bubbles. So things are pretty normal. What about you?
Well, we're all doing what we can. Like, we're wearing our masks. Like, I work at an AMC movie theater that gives me the fringe benefits of free movies.
Is it open? Is it open now?
It is in New Jersey. And,
Wow.
various other places. It all depends on what state's given permission to open.
Right. What movies are playing?
Well, mostly some of the new ones, whatever, small ones they can find, and they're re-releasing older movies or so.
Yeah.
Like they did with The Empire Strikes Back a couple of weeks ago, and
Yeah.
they're doing with The Nightmare Before Christmas and Hocus Pocus and so forth. But and we use these tools, these Ghostbusters equipments to disinfect the seats. It sprays liquid and soaps on them, and we need about 15 minutes for them to dry.
In between shows.
Yes, so nobody gets sick and so forth. And it doesn't matter if it's one person. You got to do the whole theater because who knows if they move from one seat to the next.
So what kind of crowds are you getting? Are you getting 10 people at a show? Or are you getting 50 people at a show?
Well, actually, they try to keep the capacity to 25, but it's mostly less on weekdays and weekends are a little busier since there's more people there. So, but but we're just we're trying to get through with all these big movies being pushed back, and either that or they're going online. And
yeah,
I'm just glad we're able to get what we can at this point.
Yeah.
And about my radio podcast, it's called New HD Radio. It's dedicated to hiring people on the autistic spectrum.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yes. This guy in Oceanport discovered my work on Facebook, and he wanted to collaborate with me. And, of course, that I had to agree. And I'm now officially a paid film critic.
Wow, that's very exciting.
And it's really simple at this point, because what he does is he calls me on the phone in my own house, and he records the conversation, has some guy edit it, and then publishes it in a few days. It's mostly on weekdays. I mean, he was having computer problems this weekend or so, but he was able to record it as soon as he got it fixed. And right now we should be in good shape.
Was it just for movies? I know a young man who is very into music and plays music and has a band and all that stuff who would love to do something like that.
It's for everything. It's anyone. They're hoping to expand. They're hoping to find more people. They're giving autistic people or on the spectrum, and they're giving those people a chance. They're dedicated to helping them find career opportunities, and music is one of them.
I'd love to put you in touch with him. Can I do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll get his address from my daughter. He lives across the alley from my daughter. His name's Sam. And I'll find out and I'll put you two in touch with each other. Oh my goodness, that would make him so happy. He's so stuck during, the pandemic. He was going to this music school, where they were teaching him all kinds of stuff. He's probably about your age. It would be a wonderful thing for him.
Sure. I'll see what I can get out of it, and we'll know for sure.
Great. I love that. So yes. What new movies have there been some new movies that you've seen? Because I know that the Limley, which is a specialty, art house kind of theaters here in LA, they have some online, you can pay, and see the movies that would be at their movies. But I would wonder if your theater would have access to those smaller films that are wonderful, you know.
Well, it mostly depends on like on how the movie is doing or so. I mean, like lately it's mostly been in various other places, like in like close to New York, like Newark. Like I saw the trial of the Chicago Seven, which is
Oh,
now
what
on
did you
Netflix.
think? I saw it. I saw it. That's what I saw one of the screenings of.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I
Yeah.
thought I thought it was well portrayed, well acted, and Aaron Sorkin did an unbelievable job at retelling the story.
And did you know the historical story? Did you know about this? Was this all news to you, or did you know what had happened?
Well, no, I didn't know about this before I saw the movie. I just
Yeah.
like had to see for myself. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because not everything I learned in high school or so, I just gotta learn in various other ways.
Right. Of course. Well, and of course, you were not even born at that time where you when it went on.
Nope, I was
So,
born in 92.
yeah. Yeah. And I had just moved to New York in that year, and I had three small kids, and like I knew about it, and the world was kind of exploding in 1964 all over the place. But I was so busy not starving to death and so forth that I was not nearly as worried about all that as I am about everything that's going on now.
Oh yes, it's. I mean, it's hard times no matter what century you live in. Like they
Yeah.
deal with one situation and then there's another situation, but then but as we learn about it through history, we might make ourselves better people. It's all about
Well,
learning.
if we could remember, but I believe the problem is that history is doomed to repeat itself.
Exactly.
We never seem to learn. A film I saw last night was One Night in Miami. Do you know about that film?
One night in Miami.
It
Oh yeah.
takes,
Oh yes. Yes. I saw this online. Matter of fact, I've been doing some like these film festival screenings online. Like that was the latest movie I watched. This one was
oh,
at the Middleburg Film
oh,
Festival.
you saw it too. Oh, that's
Yep.
great. I had seen the play. There was an off-Broadway play that I saw a couple of years ago, but my memory of it is that this was quite different. It says that it was based on it, but I think that the only thing that was based on it was the fact that these four people came together in this room because, as they say, we don't really know what happened in that room. It's just their idea of what happened. But so who did you think was best in that?
Well, let me just double check. Let me just make sure I got the name right. Second.
I don't remember the names. I just remember the guy who played Malcolm X and the guy who played James, the football player.
Yes. Oh yes. I thought Leslie Odom Jr. was excellent as Sam Cooke.
Oh, he was fabulous. And
Yes.
so unlike, here's the guy who was in Hamilton. He doesn't seem anything like this. Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
was wonderful. But the guy who played Malcolm, he just played Obama in the Comey Rule. Did you see that?
The Comey Room.
The Comey Rule. It was a two-part um, series on Showtime that was about James Comey when the particular, remember who James Comey is? He was the head of the Justice Department, and he's the one who, right before the last election, said that Hillary they'd been looking at her tapes again, and everybody thinks, and probably did cost her the election. But anyway, the story is really interesting about how he chose to do that and how they didn't want to do that because they were afraid that that's what would happen. But he felt like if they didn't do that, people would say they withheld stuff and it would ruin the Department of Justice. And of course, the Department of Justice is ruined anyway now because Barr is such a felon, you know.
Yeah. I don't believe I did see that, but thanks
You
for.
did, you did see it?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't
But
see
see
it.
it because the guy who was Malcolm plays Obama, and to see those two performances are really interesting.
Oh, nice. I'll
Yeah,
definitely look that up.
yeah, you'll like it.
Oh yes. Okay, so things are going, like ups and downs from time to time or so. Like, I mean, like there's like glass half full, glass half empty situations. Like, I mean, like the glass half full in this case, the film festivals, like at least we're able to see them online. At least we're able to like see them online or so because we may have to pay to watch these movies, but we don't have to pay to travel to the cities to see them in.
Right,
Yeah, so that's a positive aspect. I'm able to watch it in the comfort of my own room, like be safe and all, no
right.
problem whatsoever.
So, how many? What all festivals have you been to besides Chicago?
I mostly been to the New York Film Festival, and I also, I also did the Middleburg Film Festival. Oh, the Middleburg Film Festival, as I mentioned, and oh yeah, like this film festival I went to before, like the theaters were closing or so.
Uh-huh.
A week before, I went to the Boulder International Film Festival in Colorado.
How was that?
It was excellent. I saw, like Once Were Brothers, the Robbie Robertson movie, and then I saw Resistance with Jesse Eisenberg, and The Personal History of David Copperfield, and
I've
The
seen
Truth
so
of
many.
Catherine Deneuve.
What was the last one?
The Truth with Catherine Deneuve.
Oh my gosh, you've seen so many good things.
Yes, I went to see. I went with my cousins, like Carl and Trudy. They live there now.
Oh, that was helpful.
Oh yes, yes, and they were able to show me like their perspectives of Boulder, and it was quite exhilarating and beautiful at the same time.
So did you have trouble getting tickets for the films for the festival? I've gone to very few festivals, but last year I went to the Toronto Film Festival because Knives Out was there, right? And so I had gone to stay another couple of days because I thought I'll see all these other films. But you can't just get tickets unless you like buy a whole subscription or whatever. Is that what you found?
Yeah, like I was able to get through okay. Like I had like I had like a pass I got for Christmas or so.
Oh, you had a pass.
But yes, yeah, yes, I got the VIP pass,
It'll
and
be all filmed. You can go to whatever you want to. Just go line up, right?
yep, and we were able to do other stuff too. Like we were able to like go to this art gallery. We were able to see like a few documentaries. Like there was like this one where this like blind like this blind climber, like in the UK. I mean we were able to do a lot of things there. I mean there was and the theater we went to, like it was like really old fashioned and beautiful. Like I was able to like I like going to vintage. I like going to old theaters. Like
Yeah,
it's got a sense of style. Got a like something that makes me entertained. Something that keeps me involved. Something
yeah,
you can appreciate.
yeah. Oh, that's so great. I've been to the Hollywood Film Festival a couple of times because I was invited but just to a particular film. But then when I get the brochure and you look at all these films and you go, I don't know which one to see. A couple of times I've lucked out and seen something wonderful, but I find it all very confusing. But you obviously know how to look at it all and know what to ask for.
I do my best. I mean, I gotta learn to adapt to my surroundings.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So how long have you been into movies so ardently?
Well, it's for as long as I can remember. I mean, I mostly gone to kids movies and then PG-13 movies, and then the movie that made me want to become a film critic was Little Miss Sunshine in 2006.
That
That
great.
Yeah, that movie changed my life. I mean, like, it made me found my true calling in life. Like, there was the characters, the writing, the story, the actors, and I met Steve Carell, Paul Dano, and Bryan Cranston, respectively.
Wow.
But yes, and I mean, like, it was just like everything about that movie that made me want to appreciate the little things in life because it's the little things that make big things, especially with artisan films. Because like you wouldn't have like a certain like superhero actor or an acclaimed actor if not for this one particular movie
Right.
that like that sets off the timeline very well. So if it goes off in one direction, it might not have been what it is today.
So do you watch television too, or you just do movies?
Well, I mostly do movies. I mean, like I've done like a few TV shows or so. I've watched like old reruns of like Full House and other things, and and it's just that. I mean, I try to catch up with the past a little bit or so, and then like if I'm lucky, I'm able to watch some things in the future. But it's mostly movies or so. I mean, like I adapt. I mean, like when I find the time, I manage to check things out.
Right. I'm going to write this down so I'm going to forget. The reason I'm asking is because you said Steve Carell, and he's so wonderful in
On,
this wonderful series on Apple Plus called The Morning Show.
oh yes.
Do you know that show?
Oh yeah, I've heard. Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Well, he plays he plays a news anchor that has been, like an American institution for like 20 years, and then he's accused of sexual harassment. And then it deals with all those stories, but then he's wonderful. He's done so many wonderful things. That film where he was in the wrestling movie.
Foxcatcher.
Yes. Wasn't he
Yeah,
amazing?
he was unbelievable.
Why
Like,
was it called Foxcatcher? Was that the place that was that the estate that he had the wrestling thing on? It just occurs to me like Foxcatcher has nothing to do with the title.
I think so. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it,
Yeah.
but that was an electrifying performance.
Well, it certainly opened our eyes to him. Before that, we'd only seen him as a comedic actor, and
Well,
now we
yeah.
see him do everything.
Well, yes, we are. And he's quite versatile. Even comedy stars can take on serious roles.
Oh, many who do are extremely successful.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth. So, but, I mean, well, there, there's a lot going on right now, and I mean, it's been great talking to you today. I mean, I really appreciate you taking the time to discuss about your movies and and how you're dealing with all this.
Well, it's great to meet you. I'm very excited with what you're doing,
Thank
and with your breadth of information about films. I think it's wonderful. And I look forward to putting you in touch with Sam to see if he can get in on this network of things that are people who are being given opportunities.
I think the radio station would love that, and I
Yeah,
really appreciate that. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Well, let's stay in touch, shall we? And when I see a movie that for instance, tonight, there's a virtual premiere or screening of the new film, The Father with Frank Langella. Have you seen that yet?
No, I don't believe I have.
It was a big hit on Broadway. He won a Tony for it. I believe it's the story of a man who has probably Alzheimer's or some version of that. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know he's going to be wonderful.
Oh, yes, definitely. So remember, you're recording this on your end,
I
you're
am. I'm recording. I'm going to look up here, which it's a good thing for you to remind me because at the end I have to remember to say stop recording so that it will save it. Otherwise, if I just turn it off, it would all be gone. So I am recording it. I will save it. I will figure out how to send you the link to it.
please do, because this was actually quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. So stay in touch. If you ever want to talk again, feel free to get in touch.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Take
Take
care
care
now.
and good luck to you.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye bye. Wait a minute.
Bye.
If they stop recording, see, I said I was